Catherine, Princess of Wales, just revealing that she has been diagnosed with cancer and that she is in the early stages of treatment. The 42-year-old just shared her diagnosis in a video message that lasts about 2 minutes. I want to show that to you now.
I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you personally for all the wonderful messages of support and for your understanding whilst I've been recovering from surgery. It has been an incredibly tough couple of months for our entire family, but I've had a fantastic medical team who've taken great care of me, for which I'm so grateful. In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment. This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family. As you can imagine, this has taken time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay. As I've said to them, I am well and getting stronger every day by focusing on the things that will help me heal in my mind, body, and spirits. Having William by my side is a great source of comfort and reassurance too, as is the love, support, and kindness that has been shown by so many of you. It means so much to us both. We hope that you'll understand that as a family, we now need some time, space, and privacy while I complete my treatment. My work has always brought me a deep sense of joy, and I look forward to being back when I'm able. But for now, I must focus on making a full recovery. At this time, I'm also thinking of all those whose lives have been affected by cancer. For everyone facing this disease, in whatever form, please do not lose faith or hope. You are not alone.
You are not alone. I want to go right to CNN's royal correspondent, Max Foster. Max, I know you've been hearing more over the course of this hour. What is the latest?
It's interesting, you watch that video, this is a big thing for, anyone to do, but Kate isn't always comfortable in the cameras doing things like that, and that was a big step for her and very powerful, and she would have made that decision. She would have had to sign off on it. I want to do it in this way. I want to do it on my own. I don't need Prince William in this. I need to own this. So I think that would have taken a lot of building up to, another explanation for why we haven't seen much of her recently. But we've just heard from Buckingham Palace, a spokesman just sent me a note about the King, from the King. So His Majesty is so proud of Catherine for her courage in speaking as she did. Following her time in hospital together, His Majesty has remained in the closest contact with his beloved daughter-in-law throughout the past weeks. Both their Majesties will continue to offer their love and support to the whole family through this difficult time. I think it was quite a unique experience, wasn't it, for Kate and Charles to be in hospital together and having pretty similar experiences, going in for one procedure and coming out with a completely different diagnosis. But he's very much, looking at that video she put out today and really paying tribute to her and the way she speaks to the children. And clearly he feels that she's getting all of her priorities right there, Anderson.
Max, it's so interesting. There has been so much, obviously, consternation and conspiracy theories about Catherine over the last 2 weeks or more. It's in a moment like this when you really see this family that so many people see from afar and see on balconies and riding around in carriages at big celebrations. You see them very much as human and very much as mortal, and she is a young woman sitting on this bench telling the world this extremely personal diagnosis.
Yeah, I think this is part of the shock, isn't it? Because you do realise they are vulnerable, like everyone else, but they're projected as this brand which is sort of invincible in a way. It's been around for 1,000 years, and we're so used to the Queen being around for so long. and shortly after the king takes the throne, we found out he's got cancer. And but the thing about Kate is she's this, this vision of vibrancy. She's very sporty, she's very energetic, she's very dutiful. She's a fantastic mum from everything that I've seen, really hands-on. And I think it's a shock. When we heard that the Queen was ill, that was a shock, even though she was so old. But it's just this vulnerability, someone that's in your life. You don't know them personally, but they've been part of your life for so long, and they might not be there. And then you kind of figure out, what if Charles and Kate weren't there? It's that sort of processing. So I think it is very personal for a lot of people. And as Kate spoke to in her video, I think about other people who've suffered from cancer. This is something I really saw when the Queen died, that people connected with that moment because through people who've died in their own lives. And I think people now will be thinking of people who've suffered from cancer in their own lives, and looking at Kate as someone that's vulnerable to that, someone you wouldn't expect to be vulnerable to any sort of illness. It's just this vision of vibrancy. So, I mean, less said, as far as I'm concerned, about the distasteful, upsetting conspiracy theories that boiled up in recent times. They now have the reason for why we didn't see them. Interesting that pretty much the only thing I didn't see online in recent weeks was speculation that she could have cancer. But I think everyone needs to step back a bit and really think about not just what they're putting online, what they're consuming online, and just sticking to the facts. On CNN, we've had lots of discussions about this. We want people to get the facts, and it's been an incredibly hard story to tell because there have been so few facts. But now we know why we weren't being given information. And I think it's understandable that you'd want to protect your kids, frankly.
It's such a sad turn in this, and obviously, I mean, people around the world are going to be watching and praying for Catherine.
It was heartbreaking to hear. It was also painful to watch, I think. But for me, the strength that she showed, as Max was saying, the decision to present what was going on in this manner, to be on her own, because Prince William could have been next to her, supporting her, and she chose to do it on her own. She somehow managed to combine regal with vulnerable in a way that she does so well.
Human, just human.
So human. Yeah. I think for anybody watching, and I know you showed that video, that moment when she described the huge shock, and we know when you're nervous and your throat goes and your voice goes, and the moment she took that inhalation to say it, she was controlling her emotions in that video. So I find it quite emotional to watch the strength that she showed there, but also, and I think this explains a lot of what has been speculated over, of what we've discussed in the past few weeks, is that the children came first. They were in school. She chose not clearly to take them out of school in some way and to keep their lives as regular as they could throughout this process. And now they've broken up for holiday and they can deal with it themselves. This will send, and has sent, a sort of global bombshell around the world. Now the kids don't have to face the questions because we know what children are like. They can ask tough questions.
Again, it's also just a reminder of the kind of humanness of their existence, that they're worried about what other kids in school will be saying to their children in school. They're in school.
Normal. It's a fairy tale family in so many ways. They're a royal family. She's so regal. She's so perfect. But in the end, they are 5 people, and there are 3 very vulnerable children in this, and they pick their time, I think, very carefully. I think what's also so deeply heartbreaking about this is, as Max has said, what they've been through with all the wild speculation and the sort of traumas and the criticism and the photographs and things. And actually what it was a woman dealing with what is clearly traumatic surgery, and now recovery and then chemotherapy. I mean, for anybody, and it's most of us whose lives have been touched in some way by cancer, what this very royal but also very human family is going through is a big challenge, and they need the space now, as she asked for. But I will say one more thing. Again, coming back to being a princess at the end, where she said, and you repeated the line, "You're not alone. If you're out there also suffering with cancer, you're not alone." A princess to the beginning and the end there, I think.
Well said.